Then the Lord Almighty Allah said, O my angels, the residents of my heavens, verily I have not created this erected sky, the stretched earth, the illuminated moon, the bright sun, the rotating planets, the flowing seas, and the sailing ships, but for the love of these five lying underneath the cloak. Jabrail, the trusted angel, asked, Who are these under the cloak? And the Almighty answered, They are the household of the prophets and the assets of prophethood. They are Fatima, her father, her husband, and her two sons. Gabriel said, O Lord, may I fly down to the earth to be with the sixth of them? Allah replied, Yes, you are given permission. Gabriel, the trusted, landed near them and said, Peace be upon you, O Prophet of Allah. The All-Highest conveys His peace on you and His greetings and says that, By my honor and glory, O my angels, O residents of my heavens, verily I have not created the erected sky, the stretched earth, the illuminated moon, the bright sun, the rotating planets, the flowing seas, and these sailing ships, but for your sake and love. God has given me permission to enter the cloak with you. May I join you, O Prophet of Allah? The Prophet replied, Upon you be peace, O trusted bearer of Allah's revelations. You are granted the permission. And so Jabrail entered the cloak with us and said to my father, Allah sends His revelations to you. Verily Allah's desire is to remove blemish from you, O Prophet of the household, and purify you with a perfect purification. Then Ali said to my father, O Prophet of Allah, tell me what significance has Allah given for us gathering together underneath this cloak? The Prophet replied, By Him who rightfully appointed me a prophet and chose me a messenger for the salvation of mankind. Whenever and wherever an assembly of our followers and friends mention this event, Allah will bestow upon them His blessings and mercy. The angels will encircle them, asking Allah the remission of their sins until the assembly disperses. So Ali said, Verily by the Lord of Kaaba, we and our followers are the winners. And then my father replied, By Him who rightfully appointed me a prophet and chose me a messenger for the salvation of the mankind. Whenever and wherever an assembly of our followers and friends relates this event, there shall remain none grieved, for Allah will remove His grief. There shall remain none distressed, for Allah will dispel His distress. There shall remain no wish seeker, for Allah will grant His wish. Ali happily said again, Verily by the Lord of the Kaaba, we and our followers are the winners and the blessed in this world and the hereafter. Salawat.
बाजी के बुलंद सलावत। एक रुबाई से आगाज़ करता हूँ मैं। बिला सुबूत शह मशरिक़ैन बन जाते बिला सुबूत शह मशरिक़ैन बन जाते न थे मगर दिल ज़हरा का चैन बन जाते न होती शर्त जो سجدے میں سر کٹانے کی نہ ہوتی شرط جو سجدے میں سر کٹانے کی خدا گواہ ہے لاکھوں حسین بن جاتے خدا گواہ ہے لاکھوں حسین بن جاتے. صلوات. سلام کے چند اشعار پیش کر رہا ہوں. کھنچی ہوئی ہے تصور میں کربلا اب تک کھنچی ہوئی ہے تصور میں کربلا اب تک نظر میں ہے ستم و جور اشقیاء اب تک یہ اس رسول کی اطرت پہ ظلم بے جا تھا زمانہ پا نہ سکا جس کا نقش پا اب تک جہاں اجڑ گیا گلزار فاطمہ بخدا اداس اداس ہے اس دشت کی فضا اب تک جو کربلا میں قیامت تھی بعد قتل حسین سنائی دیتے ہیں وہ نالہ و بکا اب تک پٹک پٹک کے سر اپنا فرات کی موجیں بیان کرتی ہیں روداد کربلا اب تک ملا نہ اصغر غنچہ دہن کو قطرہ آب تڑپ رہی ہے اسی غم میں القمہ اب تک. مختار سے نہ جانے بارواں ساقی کب آئے گا ساحر علاج گردش دوران نہ ہو سکا اب تک کھنچی ہوئی ہے تصور میں کربلا اب تک نظر میں ہے ستم و جور اشقیاء اب تک. صلوات.
نعرہ صلوات
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآلہ
آپ حضرات سے گزارش ہے ایک سورہ فاتحہ سید سبت احمد رضوی سن آف سید یاور حسین رضوی، سید محمد سعید رضوی سن آف سید محمد صغیر رضوی، انوار فاطمہ ڈاٹر آف سید قربان علی رضوی، اور اس میں اپنے مرحومین کو بھی شامل کر کے ایک سورہ فاتحہ پڑھیں۔ بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم۔ بسم اللہ۔ بآواز بلند نعرہ صلوات۔ مرزا دبیر کا ایک قطع پیش خدمت ہے، مشہور و معروف قطع، بارہا پڑھ چکا ہوں میں، لیکن یہ جتنی دفعہ بھی پڑھا جائے اتنا ہی اس کے لیے۔ بآواز بلند صلوات۔ اللہم صلی علی محمد۔ جب نام علی منہ سے نکل جاتا ہے، جب نام علی منہ سے نکل جاتا ہے، گر کوہ مصیبت ہو، گر کوہ مصیبت ہو تو ٹل جاتا ہے، اور کیا نام ہے اس نام کے صدقے ہو دبیر، کیا نام ہے اس نام کے صدقے ہو دبیر، گرتا ہوا انسان سنبھل جاتا ہے، جب نام علی۔ درود بر محمد والے۔
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد۔
سلام کے چند شعر پیش خدمت ہیں، ایک بار بآواز بلند صلوات پڑھ دیں۔
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد۔
جو کہ مصروف سلام شہداء رہتا ارے گو وہ رہتا نہیں پر نام صدا رہتا ہے جو کہ مصروف اے فلک کاٹے گئے بعد فنا دست حسین اے فلک کاٹے گئے بعد فنا دست حسین ہر ایک نہ ایک ظلم تیرے گھر میں نیا رہتا ہے جو کہ مصروف ہے یہ شرمندگی پانی کے نہ پہنچانے کی نیزے پر بھی سر آباد جھکا رہتا ہے جو کہ مصروف خواب میں آن کے عابد سے یہ شے نے پوچھا ارے بیٹا احوال تیرا قید میں کیا رہتا ہے رو کے فرمایا کہ اشک آنکھوں میں لب پر نہ لے رے پاؤں زنجیر میں رسی میں گلا رہتا ہے جو کہ مصروف ارے شمر کہتا تھا کہ یہی ماں ہے علی اکبر کی شمر کہتا تھا کہ یہی ماں ہے علی اکبر کی ارے جس کا ایک ہاتھ کلیجے پہ دھرا رہتا ہے جو کہ مصروف اور ہند کی بیٹی سکینہ سے کہا ارے سر تیرا کس لیے اے بہنا کھلا رہتا ہے رو کے وہ بولی کے یتیمی کی نشانی ہے یہی ارے کرتا بے وارثی بچوں کا پھٹا رہتا جو کہ مصروف ہے اور باپ مارا گیا بھائی کٹے زندہ میں پسی باپ مارا گیا بھائی کٹے زندہ میں پسی ارے اس مصیبت میں بھلا ہوش بجا رہتا ہے جو کہ مصروف درود بر محمد و آلہ
اللہم صلی علی محمد
آپ حضرات سے ایک دفعہ اور گزارش ہے ان مرحومین کے لیے سورہ فاتحہ پڑھ دیجئے سید سبت احمد رضوی سن آف سید یاور حسین رضوی سید محمد سعید رضوی سن آف سید محمد صغیر رضوی انوار فاطمہ ڈاٹر آف سید قربان علی رضوی اور اس میں اپنے تمام مرحومین کو بھی شامل کر بسم اللہ
بارجی کے بلند تر صلوات اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد
آواز بلند نعرہ صلوات
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد
قید خانے میں تلا تم ہے کہ اند آتی ہے قید خانے میں تلا تم ہے کہ ہند آتی ہے دختر فاطمہ غیرت سے موئی جاتی ہے روح قالب میں وہ زندان میں گھبراتی ہے بے حواسی سے ہر ایک بار یہ چلاتی ہے بے حواسی سے ہر ایک بار یہ چلاتی ہے آسمان دور زمیں سخت کدھر جاؤں میں ارے بیویوں مل کے دعا مانگو کہ مر جاؤں میں بیویوں مل کے دعا مانگو کہ مر جاؤں میں در زندہ پا ہوا اتنے میں کم بولے دربان کے بڑھے دولت عمرو اقبال قیدیو اٹھو دعا دے کے کرو استقبال زن حاکم کا ہے زندہ میں نزول اجلا زن حاکم کا ہے زندہ میں نزول اجلا تم کھلے سر تھی حضور اب تمہیں چادر دیں گے رحم دل ہے ابھی زندہ سے رہا کر دیں گی رحم دل ہے ابھی زندہ سے رہا کر دیں گی ارے گرد عابد کے پھری پھر وہ حال تغیر رکھ دیا پاؤں پا سر اپنا ہٹا کر زنجے ارے بولے وہ کون یہ چلائے کجید شب ارے السلام رسنو تو کو سلاسل کے اسی السلام رسنو تو کو سلاسل کے اسی ہے وصیت کا محل مرنے تیار ہے تو ارے کچھ کفن کے لیے رکھا ہے کہ ناتار ہے تو کچھ کفن کے لیے رکھتا ہے کہ ناتار ہے تو غم نہ کھا گورو کفن میں تجھے دوں گی واللہ ارے ننگے سر تیرے جنازے کے چلوں گی ہم ارے مرنے والے تیرا کیا نام ہے کب سے ہے تباہ بولے مولا بھی 35 برس جینا ہے بولے مولا بھی 35 برس جینا ہے نام بے کس بھی ہے قیدی بھی ہے نادار بھی ہے حال یہ ہے کہ اسیری بھی ہے آزار بھی ہے حال یہ ہے کہ اسیری بھی ہے آزار بھی ہے ہند نے پوچھا مرض کیا ہے بے پدری ارے رو کے بولی کے دوا کیا ہے کہا نوحہ گری گھر جو دریا کیا کہنے لگی در بدر بولی لیتا ہے خبر کون کہا بے خبری بولی لیتا ہے خبر کون کہا بے خبری کرنے کا سبب پوچھا تو شرمانے لگے کرنے کا سبب پوچھا تو شرمانے لگے تازیانوں کے نشاں پشت پہ دکھنے لگے تازیانوں کے نشاں پشت پہ دکھلانے لگے قید خانے میں
میں درخواست کروں گا مولانا قبلہ سید رضوی صاحب سے تشریف لائیں اور امام مظلوم کے فضائل اور مصائب بیان کریں. درود بر محمد و آل محمد.
A request to recite Surah Fatiha for Sayyid Sibti Ahmad Rizvi, son of Sayyid Yawar Hussain Rizvi, Sayyid Muhammad Saeed Rizvi, son of Sayyid Muhammad Saghir Rizvi, Anwar Fatima, daughter of Sayyid Qurban Ali Rizvi. Surah Fatiha. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد، قال الله الحكيم في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إلا المودة في القربى. صدق الله العلي العظيم. As we sit here in this lovely Masjid Al Murtaza, we're surrounded is the Tabarukat, Sha'ir Husseini, as they say. You'll find that sometimes in life you've been told to come out and express your Islam. For every action that you do, you've been told to do it secretly. The right hand does, so the left hand doesn't know. But there's certain times the Quran talks about sha'irullah, sha'ir, basically to express to the public, to people, certain actions. For example, the Prophet says that when it comes to sending salawat upon us, do it in a loud voice. So that people know who you are. In the same way, when it comes to adhan, you've been told to recite it in an audible voice so people can hear the fact that you're Muslim. So you've not been told to completely assimilate that your religion is no longer distinguishable. But for as long as you can, as long as there's no dhulm, obviously everything takes place within a context. Taqiyya takes place within a context. Sometimes there's partial taqiyya, sometimes there's absolute taqiyya. But the fact of the matter is this: there are certain signs that should distinguish you as a Shia of Ahlul Bayt. One of them is the expression of love for Ahlul Bayt, which is important. Here the Prophet of Allah, and you've heard it from others, hear it from me as well. Here the Prophet of Allah is leaving the world. And he's been instructed, so he's got a year and a half before he leaves. And he's been instructed that that message that started from Adam and that finished on Khatam, right? That message of Tawheed, from generation to generation, from the beginning of Insan to the time of the Prophet, he's been instructed that tell the people, I don't want anything from you, no ajr from you, illa al-mawaddata fil qurba, but that you love my near ones. Here if you look at the traditions of Ahl Sunnah, qurba is muannas, feminine. So what they've said is that here qurba relates to Fatima alayhi salam. So it's one of the great ironies of life that even though there's an emphasis on having mawadda for Fatima, what happened immediately after is a question mark on history. But anyhow, whether we take it as one person or we take it as a family of the Prophet, the instruction has been given to you to love the family of the Prophet. Now, you've heard this. It's nothing new to you. However, the mode of love may be new to you. Here Allah doesn't say hub, have love in that particular light. He says wud, mawadda. So there's many people who claim to have love. Sufis claim to have love. Others claim to have love. Sunnis claim to have love. They honestly do love. But there's a difference between their love and there should be a difference between your love. If they demonstrate mawadda, they become Shia. They don't need to label themselves so. If you just have love, hubba, then you're not a Shia. Here it doesn't talk about hubba, it talks about mawadda. Nevertheless, Ahlul Bayt has wrapped all of it up anyway. It says even if you're muhibbeen, if you look at Hadith Kisa, what does it say? Even if you're muhibbeen, they wrap you into that, knowing full well that not everyone can have wud for Ahlul Bayt, mawadda for Ahlul Bayt. And the vast majority of Shia don't understand the concept of what mawadda is. 3-4 different things there. One, mawadda goes back to wadada. Basically means, if I give you an example, have you seen a mountain in the earth? It is so firmly ingrained in the earth, if the tree can fall, the mountain's not going to fall. Right? You'll see it. Hurricanes come, the mountain stays in its place. If the mountain moves from its place, the entire composition of the world moves. When tectonic plates move, you have an earthquake. If a mountain moves, immediately it will bring an earthquake, which will destroy most of the earth. So in this way, your mawadda needs to be firm like that. Things should move, but you shouldn't move. Your love, everything that circles around that mountain is the earth. Right? Firm in the ground, so your love should be firm. But more than that, the difference between mawadda and hub is the fact that mawadda is an active form of love that begins on tabarra and ends on tawalla. What does that mean? Here the Imam, somebody comes to him and asks him a question. He says, Mawla, I love Banu Umayyah and I also love you. Is that okay? He replies, he says, look, two loves can't exist in the same heart. You have hope for each other. I'll give you an example. You don't like him, he doesn't like you. He likes both of you. That's how a community works, right? You speak to him, you speak to him. He doesn't like him, he doesn't like him. None of you have muwaddah for each other. You have love for each other. I can love you, I can love him, I can love him, I can love all of you. In fact, I love all of you. But you know what? You don't love each other. Because this ex-president doesn't like this current president. Because he took his place and he didn't take his place and so forth. Not here, I'm talking about everyone outside Al Murtaza. Over here, mashallah, we're all masoom. Outside, the problems are the same. Right? This president doesn't, this person, this committee doesn't like. But you like everyone, because you've got to live here. So you like this president, you like the ex-president, you like the former president, you like the trustee. Everyone we like. Ahlul Bayt say, that's not sufficient for us. If you like us, you don't like our enemy. If you like us, you don't like anybody else. And in fact, let me make it easier for you. You've got to begin on disliking our enemies first before you can like us. Sunnah comes from where? Allah. What does Allah say? Kalama Tawheed is different from all the other monotheistic religions. Jews believe in God. Christians are meant to. Sikhs believe in one God. The many Hanifs believe in one God. Your kalama is different from this. They say God is one. You say La ilah. You say Tabarra first. You do Tabarra on all of the other gods first, and then Allah says, now say Illallah. Right? And the same way Mawadda works like this. Look at Ziyarat Ashura and see. Ziyarat Ashura first, before you can verify Imam Hussein's wilayat, the first thing you say is this, Allahumma lan awwala zalimin zalim haqqi Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Right? That's what you start off with. Once that's recited 100, once is not enough either. Say it 100 times, and then after that now come and say, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah wa ala al-arwah allati allat bifanaik. Look and see. Ziyarat Ashura signifies the fact that first it begins with Tabarra and then ends with Tawalla. Right? So it's easy to get you going. The engine gets going quickly when you come to understand. So first maqam is this. Maqam Tawheed begins on negation. Negation of all of that which is Masi Wallah. Then it comes to affirmation. Mawaddat of Ahlul Bayt is like that. First of all, before the nur of wilayat can shine in your heart, hub for anything other than them has to come out of your heart. Then only that hub transforms into mawaddat. There has to be, you're not going to go directly, there has to be a movement. The najasat has to be cleaned. If you have shimmer tendencies in your heart, Husseini tendencies can't come in. Right? So that's first thing, purification of the heart with the wilayat of Ahlul Bayt. That's what Majlis Hussein gives you. It points out to you that they were the zalim, you do tabarra on him. Had you do tabarra on the zalim with your tears, when you cry over Imam Hussein, you're doing tabarra on the enemies. You're doing enemies on Yazid. You're doing lanat by your tears. Why? In the time of Sayyidah Zainab, you couldn't openly say many things. So what do? You come to the Majlis, you cry, your tears are doing tabarra. They're saying we distance ourselves from the fi'l of Yazid and Ali Yazid. Right? That's how we begin. That's the faith. The Imam says himself, the reality of faith is twofold. Hubb and bughz. You love us, you hate our enemy. Hate doesn't necessarily mean you swear at somebody, you insult somebody, you desecrate somebody. That's not what it is. Separation, to move away. Imam Hussein, as we said yesterday, was doing tabarra. Imam Hussein said, look, I'm not here to fight. If I wanted to fight, he would have fought in Medina. Imam Hussein says, let's move. As the Sunni tradition says, we'll go to Hind. What is he doing? Moving away, doing tabarra. Tomorrow, let's say, and I gave the example yesterday, if there's an election, you say, look, I don't want to vote for Democrats, I don't want to vote for Republicans, I don't want to take part in this election. For argument's sake, if you say that, what are you doing? Tabarra. On the whole system, you've done tabarra. Look, I'm not making a political statement. You do what your heart tells it. If you want to vote, go vote. If you don't want to vote, don't vote. If you want to, on the day, skip the country, skip the country. Nothing to do with me. Here I'm giving an example. And the example's such. If you were to say, let me put it on my country then, forget yours. Let's say if I don't want to vote for the Conservatives or the Labour Party, what do? I go up to Scotland. I say, forget you guys. I'll vote for the Scottish elections instead of your elections. I do tabarra on them, let's say. I can say that it's my country. I can do tabarra on them. I can say, I don't want anything to do with you. You can do that. So that's where tabarra begins. Tabarra's messaging is not active actually. It's a passive movement away. Mawaddat tawalla is active. Actively you've got to come out. This is why actively the Rasulullah said you've got to come out and say salawat. This is why you've been told to do certain sha'ir, Husayni sha'ir Allah actively. What is active love? So here, look at it and see. It is not sufficient for you just to have ishq. It is important for you to profess that with Aliyun Waliullah, which you do. Profession of, take it a step further. 124,000 prophets come. Final prophet is being mandated. Ya ayyuha Rasul balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik wa illam taf'al fama ballaghta risalata. Allah doesn't stop here. If you haven't done this, everything is finished. Adam to khatam. You've heard this. What does Allah say after that? Wallahu ya'simaka minan nas. Allah will protect you, Muhammad, from the people. He doesn't say He's going to protect Ali from the people. It doesn't say kum here, it says Wallahu ya'simaka minan nas. Rasulullah, Allah will protect you. Therefore there was a problem there. This idea that everything was hunky-dory, everything was okay in the 10th year after Hijrah. Had that been the case, Allah wouldn't have said, Rasul, Allah will protect you, emphasizing, He's giving comfort to the Prophet. He knows that when the declaration of wilayat comes, it's going to be problematic. People are not going to be able to digest it. Why? Because throughout time, the test has been the wali of Allah. Who did Allah test? He tested the angels. Who rejected the wali? Shaitan did. Rasulullah is the Rasul. The test is not Rasulullah. The test is now coming. The test is coming with the wali. Test is coming with the wali. You know what Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi salam says? He says the day of Ghadir is exactly like the day when Allah told the angels to bow. Those people who bowed to Insan Kamil Adam became angels. Those who didn't became shaitan. Same way those people who come and give the bayah to wilaya are what? And those people who reject wilaya are what? Right? In the literal sense of the word, shaitan is not a kafir in the literal sense. Meaning what? He's got a relationship with God. He's a kafir, yes. Allah doesn't call him that. He says, فَإِنُّهُ رَجِيمٌ. Doesn't shaitan know God? Shaitan's issue is not with Allah. Shaitan's issue is with Waliullah. So imagine that. People have issues with God. Shaitan's issue is not with Allah. Shaitan's saying, I'll worship you like nobody else is worshipped. He calls Allah Aziz, Rabb, Ilah. All of those words are there in the Quran. Shaitan's issue is not with God. Shaitan's issue is with Waliullah. And Allah's made it like that. He's made it, and Rasulullah's issue. Today every Muslim acknowledges Rasulullah. The issue is not with Rasulullah. What's the issue with Waliullah? Sahib Wilayat. Right? So in this way, when Allah gives the hukum to Rasulullah, Wallahu ya'simuka minan, Allah will protect you. Go and deliver it. So what does Rasulullah do? Now assured, Rasulullah comes forward and gives a khutbah. Khutbah Tawheed begins from Tawheed and it ends on something. That ends on what? Mawla. To this day, Sunni and Shia both have been arguing, what does Mawla mean? Sunni say, friends. Let's go with friends. All Shias today, let's accept that the meaning of Mawla is friend. If that's the case, what happens in Jamal? What happened in Safin? What happened in Nahrawan? Do you go and fight your friend? Certainly then they would have gone against Rasulullah. People say Ma'wiyah made khata ijtihadi. If Rasulullah said Ali is your friend, you're going to go and fight him and make khata ijtihadi like that? In every direction you look, their argument is flawed. In every direction. Oh, you made khata. But he's a Sahabi. Who says he's a Sahabi? Look at all the traditional Sunni literature. You don't find he's a Sahabi. He's from the Tulaqa. Right? Anything after Bayat Rizwan, according to Ahl Sunnah, Tulaqa. Those people, Mu'allafatul Qulub. Rasulullah basically had to bribe him to bring him to Islam. According to Sunnis and Shias, traditional classical literature, Muawiyah is not a Sahabi. So firstly, he's not a Sahabi. So taqaddus of Sahaba gone now. Katib Wahi. No, he's not. Let's say even if he is, we have tradition to say there's other Katib Wahi who became a kafir after that, became murtad after that. But he's the brother of Ummul Mu'mineen. There's another Ummul Mu'mineen, her brother became Christian. What are you going to do there? Now what? What are you going to defend Muawiyah? How far are you going to run? Where are you going to go with that? Our Maraji have said to have respect for the Muqaddisat of Ahl Sunnah. The weird thing is they've not said about Muawiyah. Atullah Fayyad says, respect, make sure you don't offend. Muawiyah, come on the mimbar and say what you need to say. Why? Because Muawiyah insulted Amir al-Mu'mineen from the mimbar openly. So there's no holding back when it comes to Muawiyah. You won't find any Shia, any Marja who says you need to protect the taqaddus of Muawiyah. Why? He's not a Sahabi. The least he is a munafiq. Right? Now I haven't got onto that. Let's go back again. Mawla. Rasulullah grabs the hand of Amir al-Mu'mineen. What is Rasulullah saying? If you understand Rasulullah grabbing the hand of Amir al-Mu'mineen, you'll come to understand Rasulullah when he cleans the Kaaba. Verse of the Quran says, Subhanalladhi asra bi abdihi laylan min al-masjid al-haram ila al-masjid al-aqsa. Allah takes his Habib from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa. Why doesn't he take him directly from the Kaaba up? Because the Kaaba was a place of polytheism. Kaaba was a place of polytheism. Kaaba was a place of polytheism. He had to take him to Baytul Maqdis. Baytul Maqdis was a place of Tawheed. From there he takes him on a Mi'raj. When does the Kaaba become pure? That time comes when Rasulullah lifts Amir al-Mu'mineen on his shoulders, and from then they rip the idols down. What does that tell you? When Ali's wilayat was declared, Allah says, Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum. Without the wilayat of Ali and the nubuwwat of Rasulullah, your deen and tawheed is not complete. Now go back and see when Rasul... Now go back and see. So here the idols are broken. On the other place, Rasulullah lifts the hand of Amir al-Mu'mineen, right? Let me put it another way. Let me see if you get this one. I'm going to go now borderline Irfan, but it's borderlining sensitivities as well. So I'm floating the boat a little bit. Let's see if you get this. Surah Fatiha says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Stop there. What's the difference between Ar-Rahman and Rahim there and Ar-Rahman and Rahim here? If anyone can answer it, I'll give you $100 right now. Anyone. What's the difference between that Ar-Rahman and Rahim and this Ar-Rahman and Rahim? Anyone? I'll take it out now, shall I? I've actually got 100. Anyone who can answer it, I'll give them $100 right now. Shall I tell you what the difference is? One is known as Rahmaniyat Ijadi, the other one is Takmili. What does that mean? Ijadi means this. Allah from Alam al-Ghaib, where He is, Ghaib al-Ghaib. Rahman creates, Rahim wraps everything up into the nuqta. Ijad, to bring into creation. What into creation? Alam al-Kawn. Allah creates one thing. Allah doesn't create more than that, because Tawheed, one only creates one. Doesn't create multiple. He creates one nuqta, that one Nur al-Muhammadi, from that everything else comes. Allah is one, He creates one. He's wajib, He created one which was mumkin. From that mumkin, because it's naqis, everything else is created. That is known as ijadi. Allah's rahmah ijadiyah. After that, what happens? Second stage comes. That is known as rahmat takmiliyah. The difference between the first and the second is this. That is maqam ilah uluhiyat. That is maqam Rabb. That maqam Rabb is known as maqam Muhammadi. Right? Now I'm confusing some people. I want to confuse you today. If you can understand this. What does Rabb mean? Rabb is lower than Allah. Why is it? It's all the same, but to break it down. Rabb means rububiyyah. Rububiyyah comes under khaliqiyyah. Khaliqiyyah means nurturer, basically rububiyyah. That person who nurtures you, takes you to your takmil. Your mother is your Rabb, according to the Quran. Right? Now, I'm not saying this, Allah is saying this. Your mother is your Rabb. Rabb irhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. right? That which takes you to takamul, right? Rab, Re and Be. Re is 200, Be is 2. Numerological value is 202. Ali is 110. Muhammad is 92. Numerological value 202. Why is that important? When Ali's hand was lifted by Rasulullah, Allah revealed the verse, Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum. Without Nabuwa and Wilayat, you don't come to Takamul. Understood it now? Why is the Wilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen important? Right? Without the Wilayat of Ali and Nabuwat of Muhammad hand in hand, there is no Takamul of your deen. You're not a complete Muslim then. It's when both of them come together, then Allah says, Akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa razitakum wal Islam dina. Islam is only for those people who are takmil, at the level of takamul. When does that come into play? When Rasulullah lifts the hand of Amir al-Mu'mineen. These two are important. This is why you recite in a dua, Ya Muhammad, Ya Ali, Ya Ali, Ya Muhammad. People ask, why'd you go the other way around? Why not just Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad, Ya Ali, Ya Muhammad, Ya... Why Ya Ali, Ya Muhammad? Why you're going... Allah says, Ana awwal wa akhir, zahir wa batin. All of these asma are in that Ya Muhammad, Ya Ali, Ya Ali, Ya Muhammad. You've covered all of your tracks, right? So in this way, Wilayat of Ali is important. Nabuwat of the Prophet is important. The test is Ali. The standard is Rasulullah. Ma'raj Rasulullah. Lisanullah Ali. Rasulullah goes towards the Kaaba. Risalat of the Prophet. Hand of Ali that brings it down. To give you, let me explain this to you, right? What is Ali? I don't know, the name Al Murtaza is inspiring this discussion. What is Ali? Wajhullah. Right? Ali is Wajhullah. Ali is Ainullah. Ali is Yadullah. Ali is Lisanullah. Ali is Jambullah. Where do we find this? In the ziyarat. So as I was reciting the ziyarat, one person comes up to me and says, why don't you say Assalamu alayka ya Allah? I said, brother, you've not understood Tawheed. You've not understood Tawheed. These are fallible forms. These are material forms. Allah doesn't have any of those. But Ahlul Bayt have said, had it not been for us, you wouldn't have understood Tawheed. When I speak to you, I don't speak to your feet, I speak to your face. Your face is the gateway to your soul. In essence, what am I speaking to you? I'm speaking to your soul. Not your face, really. Your face is your identity in alam kharij. Allah doesn't have a face. If he had a face, he'd become material. Allah's face in alam kharij is Ali ibn Abi Talib. Now, now to give you a hadith. No, sometimes it's always important to mention hadith from people who others respect. Your Hazrat Umar says, there's a hadith from him. He says what happened one day was that Amir al-Mu'mineen was going around the Kaaba, if I can say it in this way. He's going around the Kaaba. He sees a young man, he looks at a young lady. As he sees the young lady, Amir al-Mu'mineen slapped him. Right? Slapped him on the face. He goes complaining to the Khalifa. He says, Khalifa, Ali slapped me. So he comes forward, he says, Ali, why did you slap him? He says, I saw that he was looking at an mahram. What could they have done? Ainullah saw, Yadullah slapped. But I'll give you one more tradition. You know, now that we're on this, I don't have much time. We've got about 7 minutes or so, but I'll say one more thing. Now that we're on this. Your mother, al-Mu'mineen, your mother, Aisha. Your mother says, I'll tell you what she says. Very beautiful hadith. Because she's your mother, you'll resonate with you. Very beautiful hadith she says. It's not our tradition, Ahl Sunnah. So your mother Aisha says, she says, whenever we wanted to know if a child was walad zina or if it was not walad zina, we'd take the child to Ali. If the child smiled, we knew what he was. If he cried, we knew what he was. So imagine this. If they had that much ma'rifah, today we don't have that much ma'rifah. Look at our people today. Even our Shias don't have. If we look at it in that light, even some of our Shias don't have the knowledge of what al-Mu'mineen Aisha did. But sometimes knowledge is not enough. True ma'rifah means what? True ma'rifah means an action. Right? There's a difference. As I say, knowledge, shaitan has a lot of knowledge. You have knowledge, you know lying is haram. Who can put their hand up and say, we don't lie? If you can put your hand up and say, we don't lie, you have ma'rifah of it. That's when you have ma'rifah. Lying is haram. If I say, I don't lie, what does it mean? It means I have ma'rifah that lying is haram, not just knowledge. People had knowledge that Amir al-Mu'mineen was the wali. They didn't have ma'rifah in their heart of Ali. What is the difference, therefore, between other sects and us? We're meant to have ma'rifah of Ahlul Bayt, which takes us back to mawaddat. They have ilm, so they have hub. We have ma'rifah, we have wadda. Do you see now? When you have ma'rifah, what do? You reject everything that is ghayr then. Why? Because when the nur of the sun comes, وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا comes, وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا comes, when that comes, then all that you see is Ala Muhammad. Look, time is short. I know you've been sitting here for the last 2 hours, but very quickly, final thing I'll say, and then I'll come to the main part of the Majlis, which is Masaib of Imam Hussain. Right? If I can say the final thing. Final thing is this. You and I, as Shias of Ahlul Bayt, what is the most important for us to do? If tomorrow Fatima Zahra was to come to you, then she was to ask you, brother, my Shia, my son, because remember, you're all sons of Fatima, whether physically or spiritually. She comes to you, says, my son, have you done anything for us? My son's ribs were shattered. Did you do anything for us? My husband was dragged onto the streets. Did you do anything for us? If she was to ask you, what have you done? What would we say? My heart tells me, in this time of difficulty, the most important thing we can do is spread this message of Imam Hussain as far and wide. Now, Imam Hussain's message comes with many philosophies, but anything that attracts the outside world to the message of Hussain, try and do. If that's feeding someone, do it. If that's your blood, give your blood for Imam Hussain. If that's just speaking to a person with good akhlaq so they come to you. Yesterday in London when there were riots, one Sunni Imam went and hugged somebody. That shook them. They said, your akhlaq is very good. Brought them to Islam. But you as the followers of Ahlul Bayt have a higher level of akhlaq than that. Why is it today that people don't respect us in this way? They should do, right? Akhlaq is important. You represent Imam al-Sadiq. Make sure your akhlaq demonstrates it as such. Bear that in mind. Shall I tell you one thing? You're blessed. Shall I tell you why you're blessed? Because you cry when Imam Hussein's name is mentioned. You know what that means? That means Fatima Zahra has blessed you specially. Not everybody's nasib is to cry. When Imam Hussein's name is mentioned, not everybody cries. Those who cry at the name of Imam Hussain, no masaib needs to be said. Hussein's name is such. That means Zahra has blessed you. In the way that in Karbala you had a flag bearer. In every majlis, Imam Hussain picks a flag bearer. That flag bearer starts the azah. Like you started the azah. You started that because Hussain picked you. When you left your house, Imam Hussain said, today he's going to be my standard bearer. If that's the case, your akhirat is saved. If Imam Hussein's picked, have ma'rifah of what it is. Honestly, have ma'rifah. It doesn't say anywhere in the riwayat that crying for Imam Hussein requires ma'rifah actually. For ziyarat of Imam Hussein, it says arifan bihaqqi. For your tears, anyone who cries for Imam Hussein, there's a benefit there. You know what that benefit is? Imagine this. Imagine, God forbid, somebody's son was to die. You came forward and you gave some comfort to the mother of that child. What would that mother do? She'd lift up her hands and says, Allah bless this person. Sixth Imam says, somebody asked him, they said, Mawla, why'd you cry for? He replied, he said, we cry because our mother Fatima to Zahra's heart is gladdened. Right? Because her heart is gladdened. This broken-hearted mother, let me tell you something. When you go for Arba'in, go to the haram of Imam Hussein just before Maghrib time. You'll see that a group of ladies come. And when they come into the haram, they cry and they say, Mawla Hussein, our children's sons were killed by ISIS. But today we're not going to cry over our sons because your mother wasn't there to cry over you. We mothers are here. We're going to cry over you. And when they say this, you see the entire haram begins to cry. Why? Because these women who have lost their sons come and they cry for Imam Hussein. Why? Because Zahra wasn't there to cry for Imam Hussein. Wasn't that the biggest concern? Look at the hadith and see. She says to her father, Father, are you going to be there? Says, no. Abul Hassan, are you going to be there? No. My son Hassan, are you? No. Father, am I going to be there? No. First question, who's going to cry over my Hussein then? Answer comes, Allah will create a nation to cry. Are you not the dua Fatima to Zahra? Are you not going to cry now? Are you not that dua? Which Fatima? Which Fatima? Have you ever asked yourself which one? That one who Amir al-Mu'mineen began to cry while giving ghusl and kafan. When he hit his head on the wall, Fizza asked him, says Amir al-Mu'mineen, why do you cry for? You know what the reply was? The reply was, Zahra hid it for me. Said, what did she hide from you? Said, her rib was broken, she hid it for me. One rib was broken, Amir al-Mu'mineen for 30 years of his life cried. Imagine what Imam Zaman feels when he says, Salam on my Jud, whose right rib came out of the left side and left rib came out of the right side. Twice Imam Hussein was trampled, one when he was alive and one after. As the horses trampled, they say ribs were crunching on the plains of Karbala. That on the 13th of Muharram, when Imam Zain al-Abidin came, he said, people go away because my father had ghaira. Puts the abba on the ground, tears in his eyes. When he lifted the rib, the shoulder collapsed. When he lifted the leg, the hip collapsed. Takes all of the pieces of his father, and as he's putting down, a voice comes, Sajjad, careful my son, careful. Why? Matam Hussain.
शह कहते थे बीबी हमें रोकर ना रुलाओ, फिर प्यार करें हम तुम्हें मुँह आगे तो लाओ। वो कहती थी हमराह मुझे ले کے تو جاؤ، میں کیا کروں میدان میں گر جا کے نہ آؤ۔ نیند آئے گی جب آپ کی بو پاؤں گی بابا، نیند آئے گی جب آپ کی بو پاؤں گی بابا، میں رات میں مقتل میں چلی آؤں گی بابا، چلی آؤں گی بابا، نیند آئے گی جب آپ کی بو پاؤں گی بابا، چلی آؤں گی بابا۔ فرمایا نکلتی نہیں سیدانیاں باہر، سینے پر سلائیں گی تمہیں رات کو مادر، کیوں کہتی ہو مقتل میں چلی آؤں گی بابا، چلی آؤں گی بابا، نیند آئے گی جب آپ کی بو پاؤں گی بابا، چلی آؤں گی بابا۔ ننھے سے کلیجے پا میرے چلتی ہے تلوار، کھلتا نہیں کیوں آپ نے باندھے ہیں یہ ہتھیار، میں آپ کو کھو کر نہ کبھی پاؤں گی بابا، نہیں پاؤں گی بابا، نیند آئے گی جب آپ کی بو پاؤں گی بابا، چلی آؤں گی بابا۔ آتی ہے بلا سر پہ تو پہلے مجھے وارو، مر جاؤں گی بابا، نہ سدھارو نہ سدھارو، جاؤ گے جہاں میں بھی وہیں جاؤں گی بابا، وہیں جاؤں گی بابا، نیند آئے گی جب آپ کی بو پاؤں گی بابا، چلی آؤں گی بابا۔ شب ہوگی تو پھر خاک پہ سوئیں گے کہاں آپ، سینے پر تو اصغر کو سلائیں گے وہاں، اچھا میں وہیں خاک پر سو جاؤں گی بابا، سو جاؤں گی بابا،